Randy,
Yes.
there are some days, man, that I look in the closet and I wonder, do I need those ties anymore?
Hmm.
I probably have 100 of them.
Yeah, you and me both. Used to wear ties, and they call them not suspenders, braces.
Ah,
And there's a difference.
yeah.
You know what? We'll talk about that. Hey, my name is Randy Wooden with Goodwill Industries of Northwest North Carolina. I'm the director for our professional center, and I get together with my friend Teddy Burriss a couple of times a week on a Monday, like today, and also on Wednesdays, where we bring in a guest to talk about fascinating stuff. But today, we're going to talk about some tips. We're going to talk about some birthdays and famous things in history, and also offer up a story or two and talk about our Wednesday guest. But first, Teddy, why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah, Randy, good stuff. So for those that have never met me, I'm Teddy Burriss. I teach LinkedIn as a business tool. I teach Google Workplace as a business tool to business professionals and anybody who wants to master using those tools in their business. I love doing that work, but like Randy said, a couple times a week we get together and sometimes we cut up and play around, but we always bring some good ideas, some good tips and stories. And every Wednesday, we bring absolutely fabulous special guests to the show. And this this past week, oh my golly, Smitty from Smitty's Notes, man, that was fun. And this week, we got another really cool returning guest that people love this guy. So we're bringing him back. We'll tell you about that in a minute. So hang tight. So, hey, Randy, whose birthday is it today, buddy?
Well, first, the difference between suspenders and braces, because I thought braces were on like teeth, that kind of thing. And they are. Well, they not in my case, but we all heard of braces on our teeth. But suspenders are where you think of a farmer that would clip, a little clip like that, and would clip onto the pants. Those are suspenders. You see them sitting back, going like this, stretching them out. Braces are where there are buttons, and you've got the ability you've got buttons on the inside of your dress pants or your slacks. And so the braces look like suspenders, except they actually button inside of your pants. So they don't clamp on.
Do people use those to get rid of plumber's crack?
Probably should. But I used to wear a lot of those. Hey, you know what? Today's kind of a special day in a way, Teddy. It's the 28th of February, and tomorrow would be, if it were leap year, would be the 29th. And so it got me thinking, as we do the usual birthday thing and on this date in history, but I'm also going to touch on what happened on February 29th. And so it's kind of cool. But first, I have a quiz for you.
Okay.
Birthday. We've got one, Mario Andretti. Everybody's heard of him, the race car driver.
Never been able to catch him. Never been able to catch up with him.
No. He was a legend in racing, born in 1940. But this gentleman was born in 1931. His real name is Alan C. He's deceased now, but Alan C. S-E-E. Okay. And
would I have met him somewhere, Randy? Would he have been one of our groupies?
You know what? If you took a tour on the Love Boat, he would have been your captain, Stubing. Gavin McLeod was born on this date in 1931. And as far as birthdays go, there are a couple of folks born on the 29th that we've heard of, Dinah Shore and Tony Robbins. Those are two famous people born on February 29th. And also what's interesting too, and I don't know the names and I don't really care, but I'm sure their family cares. But there are two families in history, only one in each situation, one that had three separate generations where they had someone born on the 29th. So a grandparent, parent, grandchild, three separate levels, generations born on the 29th. And there's also one family who had three children, not triplets, but had three separate single births, each on February 29th. Obviously, at least 4 years apart. Yeah. But point being, just think about the odds of that happening.
Then there's two other things that makes me think about too, Randy.
Yeah.
Well, one is I'm going somewhere you don't expect me to go. Today's not your birthday. You're gonna have to wait 3 more years.
Yeah.
And then there's the other side. Not tonight, honey. We gotta wait a little while.
Not happening. By the way, people who are born on the 29th, I looked this up because you think about dog years, and so I'm only 8 years old. Well, okay, start doing the math. But they either celebrate on the 28th or March 1st.
Yeah. Yeah.
They have the option to do that. Yeah. In history, by the way, a couple of things. I think people certainly of our age remember MASH, the show. In 1983, it aired. It was the highest viewed show in history, at least to that point. But I think we've all played Monopoly at some point. Everybody's played Monopoly. Might have been a long time ago, but do you remember the B&O Railroad? One of those 4 railroads?
Yep.
Short line, Pennsylvania.
Baltimore and Oregon.
Baltimore and Ohio. And actually on this date in 1827, it was the first incorporated railroad to carry people and freight in the US of A. And so there you go. That's what happened on this date in history. Quick story for you, Teddy. And we have training at Goodwill. We have, I sit through other trainings and it's kind of dawned on me as far as where is our mindset. And the 2 biggest motivators in life typically are the fear of loss or the expectation of gain.
I get that.
Those are the things that drive us. If the doc says, hey, you got to lose weight, you got to eat better, you got to quit smoking, or you're going to die tomorrow, the chances are you're going to make some changes. Yeah. So that's the fear of loss. And that's, while it's a very powerful, and I would argue the most motivating thing in life is the fear of loss, certainly of something that we value. It's living on what I'll call the negative side of things. The positive side is expectation of gain. Think of the possibilities. Where can this lead? And that gets your mind in the positive way. So just a story to kind of keep in mind as we go through life. And if we go through job change, not to be fearful, but to look to what could be possibilities. Yeah.
And maybe those 2 go hand in hand too, Randy.
It could be.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. I mean, I'd add in that the fear of my wife taking me out and beating me up, but that's not everybody has that challenge. Yeah. Hey, here's my story, buddy.
Yeah.
This morning, I won't show you the names. I went through 25 LinkedIn invites, and because they did not follow the rules that I lay down for connecting with Teddy, which, by the way, everybody should have rules for why they accept an invite. Right. Because these 25 people did not follow the rules, I just went on a slaughtering spree and hit the ignore button boom, 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 over and over again, because they didn't follow the rules. Now, I'm not trying to be pompous or arrogant in any way, but my point is this: it's a business tool and there needs to be rules. The rules are sometimes referred to as best practices. And so when someone sends you an invite and they don't follow your rules, which I'm hoping includes tell me why you want to connect, you don't have to accept it. And furthermore, if you send an invite to me and I ask you, hey, Randy, thanks for the invite, what's going on? How can I help you? And a week goes by and you don't respond to me at all, bam, ignore. So that's this morning. Randy, I was fired up. I hit 25 ignore buttons in a row, man. So because they don't want to play by the rules. So that's
how much coffee? How much coffee did you have this morning? Huh? I wonder.
Not any more than normal.
You're only amped up. And, and I get it. I get it. Sometimes people either don't know or don't care. And part of my role with our professional center is to show them how to do it and why they should care. Yeah. But that's a process, and you can't always meet people where they are if they won't engage with you. It's just like, all right, fine. Have a nice life. Hey, we've got Mike Fenley returning. Mike has been on our show 2 or maybe 3 times in a slightly different role. He's been on with Lisa Lamb of NC Works, and when COVID first hit, they were on to talk about all the relief packages, the feds and the state. Mike, by the way, is a field representative for Senator Richard Burr. Yeah. And so Mike gets around the state, and he is, I guess, we'd call him the liaison. He's the mouthpiece for the senator who physically can't be everywhere at all times. And so Mike approached us and said, hey, Randy, we've got some things going on with the state here that are really things that need to be talked about. Let's share some thoughts on these. And so it all goes back to scams, employment scam, work from home, make 10 million a year, whatever, but also just identity theft and a whole host of other scams. And I read just the other day where I think over $93 million has been scammed from North Carolinians just in the last year or so. It's one of the biggest complaints from our citizens here in the state is scams. And what can the government do to crack down? And think about those bogus phone calls you get all the time. The stupid numbers that are, I don't know, spoofed, or I don't know what the word for it is, but it looks like, hey, it's
Uncle
Winston-Salem. Yeah, it's somebody I shouldn't. And they just change the numbers. And anyway, so we'll cover that. Got a quick tip for you. It's the golden rule, kind of like what you just talked about. When somebody wants to connect to you. So again, and I sound like a broken record. I think I mentioned this last week or the week before. I get these requests to connect. I accept, and my business model is a little bit different from yours. I accept and ask how I can help them, because I need to be able to count them as, a customer served within Goodwill's program. But immediately I get this very long canned response. And I've had 2 or 3 of those here in the last 3 business days. So it's just enough to say, look, you don't want that happening to you. Don't do it to other people. Same thing in your day-to-day with your employer. Treat other people with respect and courtesy. Assume positive intent, and give people the benefit of the doubt, and treat them like you'd like to be treated. Again, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to be nice. It's free to be nice. It's free to be professional. So try that, and I think you'll get good response, hopefully in return.
Yeah, I'm with you. So when Mike comes on the show, is he going to help me understand if that dude really is a Saudi prince living in New Jersey?
I think we got, Teddy, I think we figured that out. No, in fact, it was, I could go on as it's silly, all kinds of silly, stupid stuff. But yeah, you get them, I get them. Yeah. But the bigger scams are the ones that are calling you on your phone and stealing your identity. Yeah. And how can we deal with that? I think hopefully by now we're used to the Saudi prince that, got $10 million sitting in Canada somewhere, and I need you. Yeah. I get that. Yeah. Quite frankly, if you fall for that, that's pretty bad. But there are these guys are a lot smarter now as crooks, and we've got to be on top of it. So Mike Fenley will be back to share some thoughts on what the government's doing and what you can also do to help protect yourself.
Absolutely. Yeah. One of the worst things in society that I think justifies the worst possible penalty is rip-off artists, especially those who prey on the elderly and people who don't have the wherewithal to have people to support them. So it'll be a good show on Wednesday. Hey, Randy, here's my tip for my career tip. Life tip, not a career tip. Okay. A/B testing. A/B testing. Let me explain what that means. You try it this way, you see what kind of results you get. You make a slight adjustment, and you try it that way for a while. You see what kind of results you get. You make an adjustment, and you try it this way. This is marketing 101, but this is also a life skill. Try your voicemail messaging when you're leaving a voicemail for someone to call you. You really want to talk with them. Try it one way 4, 5, 6 times, then change it up a little bit. Try it a little different. Okay. See which one works. Same thing with email. You send an email to someone, you want to have a conversation, you want to meet with them, whatever the purpose is, career, business, community, change up your email. Change up the way you start a conversation with someone. Change up the way you look at people and the way you smile at them and how you greet them. A/B testing. Try it this way. Try it a little different. See which works better. So then this is how you keep growing. This is how you keep getting better at things. A/B testing everything you do in life. Look at what worked. Make a pivot. See if it works better. If it doesn't, go back to the other way and try something different. Randy, I really love the style of A/B testing in business, but I also think it's critical for us in life. So, hey, buddy, Wednesday, man, I'll be there. I'll be nice and clean and have my shoes and socks on, and looking forward to Mike's conversation.
It'll be fun. Mike's a good friend, good colleague, and is always full of useful information. And we'll also probably ask him a little bit about COVID and the government and what all is happening, from a regulatory and other standpoint. But the big thing is scams. We've all been approached. What can we do to avoid those and hopefully corral some of these bad actors? Because I agree with you, Teddy. That is just the lowest of the low. preying on the weak and those that can't really fend for themselves. Hey, it's time to go. Teddy, you have a great week. We'll catch you on Wednesday. All right.
All right. Be
Take
good.
care.
Bye.
Bye.